Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. Boy, that just sums it up, doesn't it? Mario's not coughed in 6 hours, and the coughing fit starts as soon as the mics go on.
I'm okay.
You've done it. You've
I'm
killed
okay.
Mario.
Oh, my God. Hawks lose 7-1 to the Kraken. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the CHG. No. We are powered by ComEd. It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles.
Sure
Learn
is.
more at ComEd.com/clean. We love ComEd.
What's easier, switching to ComEd for a cleaner business or beating the Blackhawks?
Switching. Very easy to do.
I don't know. Switching the ComEd and scoring on Arvid Soderblom might be in the same realm.
That's
That you should add that to the copy.
Yeah.
Look, you guys know the drill. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that great stuff. We're not doing a 4-star tonight because everyone sucked ass for 60 minutes. So vote, which was the worst game of the year? This one, the Arizona game, or the Columbus game? So many difficult choices. We'll reveal the winner at the end. We are going to talk about Arvid Soderblom. He was awful. There's no doubt about it. However, I am not letting any of the other guys on this team off the hook. Nobody. This is a complete top-to-bottom Connor Bedard down to Nikita Zaitsev failure of a team in this game. It was absolutely embarrassing. I know that Seth Jones is hurt. I know Taylor Hall's gone. I know Corey Perry's out. I know Mackenzie Entwistle wasn't there. I know they have every excuse in the book to get their asses kicked. The Kraken have lost 8 of their last 10. They are not a good team. The Kraken are a crap-ass team. They were out there skating around the Hawks like they were the Oilers or the Maple Leafs or the Colorado Avalanche or the Dynasty Hawks or the 90s Red Wings or the 80s Oilers. Name the Dynasty team you want. The Hawks could not get the puck. They didn't care to get the puck. They didn't try to get the puck. It was embarrassing, top to bottom. And if Luke Richardson has a BioSteel table flip in his arsenal, tonight's the night. That was bullshit. And he should be the first guy in there. No more of the players handling it thing. That he said that all year.
They've done that twice this season, and it has not worked.
How many players only meetings have there been so far?
At least 2.
At least 2. The message isn't getting through. Nick Foligno, it's not working apparently. His message isn't getting through, so it's time for the coach to try something. This is embarrassing. You should be embarrassed to be a Hawks fan tonight. The team should be embarrassed for this performance. I'm sorry. That was absolute garbage.
Yep. Too many zeros on the give a fuck meter tonight from this team, and honestly, too many throughout this season. There have been more games this year, and we're only a third of the way through, where we're like, what a garbage effort compared to what we saw last year.
For the record, just from Mark Lazarus now, still waiting for the Blackhawks room to open.
There we go.
He says this would be, I believe, the 3rd post-game players meeting of the season already.
I hope it's not players only. I hope Richardson's ripping into him. Because the quiet, stern dad only goes so far, apparently. Like, we were talking about the cards that you play with Lucas Reichel to get something out of him. Richardson's got to play the chew your head off card tonight. Because something's got to happen with this team. And if that doesn't happen, if a performance like tonight, after the multiple performances we've seen like tonight's game over the course of the season, doesn't get anything out of this team, then they have packed it in and they've punted on this season. And it's mind-boggling because, yes, you do have the deficiency of the players that you expected to have this year that were going to give you some more jump, some more production with Hall and Perry and Athanasiou for the majority of the season. But loss of talent never should equate loss of effort. And this team has a deficiency in effort. And it's crazy because we didn't have it last year, and there's a lot of carryover from last year to this year's roster. And it's inexcusable.
Yeah. this was the game that we were all worried we were going to see against the Oilers when we saw that Jones and Korchinski weren't there and all that, and they had some effort against the Oilers.
Yeah.
Tonight, no effort. Again, we've seen it. I mean, I could sit up here and pretend that I'm outraged and I'm mad. No, I mean, because let's face it, the majority of the guys who are out there putting in no effort are not going to be here when it matters.
Yeah, I know that.
But the guys that are going to be here, you need to see it.
Yeah,
sure.
There are guys here that are going to be here.
You can't have 18 guys coasting.
It's
19.
It's toxic.
It's disappointing, but it is what it is with this team. That's their identity. I said it a couple weeks ago. Everybody says this team doesn't have their identity yet. Yeah, they do. They do. They're a team that's going to take nights off. It's going to be easy to play against. The exact opposite of what they wanted their identity to be. Mm-hmm. It's the exact opposite. Beat them to every puck. They'll never get the puck out of the zone. They don't go and take the puck away from you. They're easy to play against. That's their identity. An easy team to beat.
There was a shift in the second period today. Nikita Zaitsev was out there for 237. Phil Kurashev, 220. Connor Bedard, 214. Lucas Reichel, 212. Philip Roos, 152.
Yeah,
that's how pinned deep.
I was shocked that they didn't give up a goal or take a penalty in that shift.
Yeah. Hey. Way to
go.
Small
battles.
You had to engage the puck carrier to take a penalty.
Usually.
Yeah, you have to touch them. But,
right.
I mean, you could just throw your stick at a guy and say, screw it. At least that shows you got some emotion.
At least you're trying something.
It's like that scene in Major League where he hits him with it's about goddamn time. It's 7-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't say goddamn on the radio. Don't worry, no one's listening. So it is what it is. It is frustrating because you've got guys on this team that have done it before at a high level, and you've got young guys that you want to see get in the habit of playing hard every night.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not doing it.
It's bad habits hockey right now.
Well, that's what Darren Pang said. They've got to learn some structure. They've got to learn some fight.
And I don't really know how that happens at this point because they are playing the world's simplest version of the game.
Yes.
Mm. Luke Richardson cannot dumb it down any more than it is. They're playing, U13 hockey systems right now. Like they are as simple as you can be. And if these guys can't get structured playing simple, you can't make it anymore. Like I don't know. I don't know what the
you can't throw more at them if they can't get the basics.
No, they can't do the basics. So this is just it is what it is. It's a awful roster. It was a mediocre at best roster to start the season, and then it's been decimated by injuries. I mean, you don't have your top two defensive pairing out there tonight, so you're playing your backup goalie who's been bad. So I'm not shocked this is the end result based on what was out there. And then to top it on off, you get another one of those, we're just going to coast tonight and get on the plane and go home type of efforts.
Yeah, that's where the issue is. If they got ran out of the arena 7-1, but it's like they hit a couple posts and a couple plays go the opposite way where they're trying to make something happen, then you're like, well, at least the effort was there. The execution wasn't, or it wasn't where it needed to be. Seattle just capitalized. That wasn't the case. And Seattle just came out there they cared more.
Yeah, and two of the goals you're like fine. One hit a skate, one hit Nikita Zaitsev in the arm and landed right on the stick.
Right.
Nothing you could do about those. But
outside of that, it's 5-1. Yeah.
Here's the thing too. Like, Greg, you're right. Like this team, when a team shows you who they are, believe them. Right? Fine. But you saw this team, despite losing the game in Edmonton, come out and give an effort for 60 minutes. And part of it is they knew if they didn't, they were going to get pasted. Mm-hmm. Tonight, once again, as they did in Montreal, Arizona, Columbus, the nominees for the worst loss of the year, up with this one, assumed that it would be an easy game for them. They assumed that they can come out and play at 75% and hang in there and make it close. No. This team, I don't know what this team thinks they are.
They are the easy game for 31 other teams.
That's right.
Including Anaheim, including San Jose. They are the team that other teams can come out and put a 75% effort in and get a win.
Except the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well,
the only team Arvid Soderblom has beaten this year twice. That just makes that.
The Leafs are their own category.
Here's a quote from Mark Lazarus. Tyler Johnson said it was a, quote, terrible game.
Yep.
Said he was, quote, pissed off and called it, quote, unacceptable.
Sure.
Said guys were watching rather than battling.
Okay.
Tyler Johnson.
He's one of those guys.
He was even. 3 shots. Hey, he led the team. He was tied for the team lead in shots. That's one guy who actually was not god awful in this one.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of games
Sure.
where he's been a passenger.
He's been a passenger
so,
in games where the rest of the team has played okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
If you're finger pointing, you got to be thumb pointing too.
Yeah.
yeah, they all said guys were watching rather than battling. Just say we were,
Sure.
because that's a team. That was a team suck fest tonight. They all from top to bottom. So
I think I've seen that before.
yeah, team suck fest wasn't that a Broken Lizard movie
I think so.
Might have been.
Yeah.
after Beer Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I mean, credit to everybody for being here. Like, we appreciate it. Like, seriously, it's really what you saw tonight, and especially this late at night, you have every excuse to not be here. So the fact that you are means the world to us. Stick with us. We're going to give you a full show with all the stuff we usually do, except for 4-star. We do appreciate you being here. I know we got some super chats to get to, and we're going
We got
but
over 160 people watching on
great.
At almost midnight on a Thursday.
look, and they're pissed
After
off
a
too.
7-1 loss.
Yeah.
So you guys are the best.
Yeah, you guys in the chat upset. I'm right there with you. Like I'm the emotional investment, the time investment. Like, yeah, it's our job, but also we're still fans. You want it to be reciprocated, at least a little bit from the team. And on nights like tonight, it's where you just throw up your hands and you're just like, does anyone give a shit? Like, should I give a shit? Like, I was talking with Steven. We made a little joke about, we were talking about The Office. I said, this season is season 8 of The Office to me. I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
Like, their performance, they need to care so that the fans also care. Because if you lose the fans with this team, with Bedard, oof.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, as soon as they start winning, they'll be back. But, I mean, you had an opportunity this year to capitalize on Bedard fever. And, yes, the season would go differently if all the people missing for various reasons were missing.
Sure.
Of course. And Kyle Davidson built a team that was at least supposed to be competitive when they played. And had all those pieces been here, they probably would have been. And that's a given. And, look, the team as constructed now has not had a lot of time to practice. They didn't get a practice in yesterday because of a flight issue. Those are valid excuses, but you don't have to practice trying.
Right.
That's not what practice is. If you want to implement a change to your system or do a little tweak on the power play, fine. And I get it. Nikita Zaitsev, not a power play quarterback. He's going to struggle out there. Those things make sense. I get that, right? But at the end of the day, the 1-3-1 power play is something that every player on this roster has played their entire career at one point or another. It's not that effing complicated. Like Greg said, nothing Luke Richardson is implementing should be so mind-boggling to this team that they can't figure it out. It is basic ass hockey from top to bottom. And yeah, of course, practice is where you work on your problems, you sort things out, and it hasn't been there. But this is not the fact that they haven't practiced. This is not travel woes. This is not the end of like a 5-game Western road trip. Yeah. It's a 2-game trip.
2-game trip. You had a rough travel day, but you didn't practice that day, so you got the time to recoup and rest,
right,
and be fresh to go. And nobody looked fresh to go. I don't know.
Tough travel day in the NHL is not exactly a tough
Yeah,
travel day like
your
for us.
You were delayed on your team
your
charter
flight
to
with your
get
gourmet
to the
meal
Hilton
and-
in Seattle.
Right.
Yeah,
You're not sitting in an
you're fine.
airport for 9 hours next to a screaming child and some asshole
Yeah.
having a conversation on speakerphone. Like, you're fine.
I
like,
want to shake her hand.
like,
I want to shake her hand.
that motherfucker right there is not real. All right, let's just end it now. That's not my point. It's not gonna get any better.
I'm tired of these fucking snakes on a fucking plane. There's so many ways we can go. Oh my god. Yeah. Excuse me. Our travel was very difficult. My Diet Coke did not have ice in it. Excuse me. My pillows are not very fluffed right now. Give me an effing break.
Yeah.
Right here. Oh, travel difficulties.
No, I don't want
Get on the ice and play.
I don't want to hear that. I don't think they're going to use that, but it's a convenient excuse. Sorry, we were off course.
Jet lag.
And the pilot kept asking me if I like gladiator movies for some reason. Ever seen a grown man naked?
Oh Lord.
Oh, Christ. Yeah. I mean, listen, and I'm seeing people in the chat. We need to fire Luke Richardson.
Come on.
What do you
Go
want
to
him
bed.
do? What do you want him to do?
You can bring in Scotty Bowman from the 1970 Montreal Canadiens this roster.
Well, he's available now.
Yeah, I mean, you can bring when did we try Gerard Gallant? The day after never. That guy, no thanks.
What are you talking about?
Relax. This roster, when it's healthy, is mediocre at best. This roster now probably will lose the half of the AHL. Like, it's not a good roster. So, like, if Luke Richardson, when he's the coach and this team has your big free agent signings that they're going to go after in the next couple of years,
judge him when there's talent.
Bedard is a Hart Trophy candidate, and you getting all these core guys that you've drafted over the last couple of years here, and you get all these guys, and you still can't win games. Okay, then you look to move on.
Well,
this is a terrible, terrible roster, and blaming the coach is just.
It's the laziest thing you can do.
It's the stupidest take you could possibly say from some people that love their stupid takes. You're either raising the bar or lowering the bar on your takes, depending on which way you want to go.
Bring back Colleton.
It's that
He's kidding. There's no way that's serious.
If that guy's not kidding.
Shocky Boys is not serious.
Shocky Boys.
Yeah, we need
I'll say this, though. You're right.
This team would benefit from some man-on-man hockey.
Suggesting firing Luke Richardson
Like in Gladiator
is silly and an overreaction. However, we're a third of the way into the year, and there have been the same problems happening over and over again. In most jobs, if you make the same mistake over and over again, you lose your job. In most jobs.
Yeah.
Not all.
Well, and I think I believe you judge him when there's talent and expectations.
Agreed.
But
we can't just give
his seat is not
pass either.
His seat is not hot because Kyle Davidson has not given him a roster to compete with. It's not given him the expectations of you need to get something out of these guys. But to the point, he's got to be able to get something out of these guys. You can't just say, "Oh, it's nothing and it's okay." Like, you have to get something out of them. Last year, he got something out of a bad roster, at least effort-wise. At least the buy-in was there. A coach can only do so much, but you want to see what he can get out of these players. And if the players are just completely checked out, that isn't 100% not on the coach. Like,
No,
there is
some
some to go around. So I don't know.
We also have to keep in mind he's a first-time coach too, and this is the first.
No, he's in his second year. I don't think that's an excuse.
What's his
anymore.
first job? This is the first.
It's his first NHL
this is
head
the
coaching
first-
job. He's in year 2 of.
This is the first crisis he's faced as a coach. Last year, there was no expectation. The team was competitive, even in losses. They tried hard, which is all the expectation was, and everyone loved Luke after last year. And I think the vast majority of Hawks fans still really like Luke Richardson.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in an argument with straw men here, but
He still has leash, but I think it's getting a little shorter.
It's Derek King's fault. Don't you know that?
oh yeah, always.
Jesus
But
fucking
it's just
Christ.
it's just
I can't take stupid. Right
he
now.
has to there are going to be lessons he's learning on the job too.
Yeah.
And second-year players like Lucas Reichel, they all are still learning. Like, one season does not make you a veteran coach. So this is the first real crisis that Luke's had to deal with.
Yeah, and everybody warmed up to him last year about how hard they played and look how great, they're losing every night, but they're still playing hard. Well, they're still losing every night, but that effort isn't there on a nightly basis. Yeah. That probably has more to do with roster than coaching.
Yeah.
Because he was doing the same things last year, and you were getting that effort because you had more of those kind of guys on the team. You had your Sam Lafferty's until they traded him, and your Jake McCabe's and your Max Domi's. Those guys were maximum effort guys every night. You don't have any of those guys right now.
Well,
and yes, everybody should be a maximum effort guy every night, but let's just face the facts. Some guys aren't, and the Blackhawks have a team full of them right now.
Well, and I've said this before, and you just listed a bunch of guys that were here last year, and you selectively edited two of them out, Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane. And I am not advocating that either of them should have returned, but I've said this a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to remind you for people that weren't there. And Alex Vlasic admitted this as much to us. With those guys around, especially Toews, there was a fear of fucking up. They did not want to disappoint Jonathan Toews or Patrick Kane. And we said the presence of Nick Foligno makes this locker room much looser. And much more, the leadership is much more approachable and less intimidating. Well, maybe it's a little too approachable, and maybe it's not intimidating enough because we had a player tell us that when Jonathan Toews is around, these guys, they straightened up and flew right. They knew none of these guys wanted to piss off number 19. They grew up idolizing the guy, and to let Jonathan Toews down was a huge fear. Not like, oh my God, he's going to yell at me, but oh my God, if we skated on a line with Jonathan Toews or Marian Hossa or Sidney Crosby or whoever else, we'd all have that awe too of like, oh my God, I don't want to be the guy to piss them off.
Yeah. Well, maybe Luke Richardson needs to step in that role, and I don't want to be the guy that pisses.
That's what I'm saying. Off. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not advocating bringing either of them back. I think they did the right thing moving on, but I do think as you look at what are the big, because you look at this roster and if you go through it, you're like, which of these guys lacks character? Before the year, you probably wouldn't have said any of them. But as a group, they lack character.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think individually, you would believe that there are guys that would go in and put in the effort night in and night out because that's kind of what got them here. A guy like Tyler Johnson. But yeah, collectively, it's just not clicking for some reason. And I don't know if it's because the message is the same and they don't, the guys that were here last year don't want to go through the same kind of season as they did last year. And that's trickled down to either the young players or the new guys. And now there's no buy-in for a team that has no aspirations of doing anything this season. I don't know. Last year it was chip on the shoulder. Everybody's, counting us out. We want to prove people wrong. I understand it's hard to live in that mindset. It's hard to be in the everyone thinks we're garbage, so we want to prove them wrong. After a season like last year and after how this season started, I can see how it's like, shit, more of this. Like, I don't want to do this again. But you're a professional, and your job is to go out and play hockey, and you're rewarded handsomely for that compared to the rest of the world. You would like to think that is a motivation enough to be like, I'm going to give a shit night in and night out.
Well, I think Kyle Davidson is probably obviously disappointed with how this season is going so far. He's probably not mad as far as like, oh, great, I get another top 3 pick. And I get another crack at it.
We're all frustrated with the team and how they're playing, but the fact that they have right now the best odds at landing Macklin Celebrini, I'm not upset about that because of the direction the organization is going. But it's how you get there. They got to tied for second worst last year, third off the tiebreaker in the standings, by being bad, but playing hard. And I had no problem with how they got to the bottom of the standings last season.
Well, and this year they're down there because they're dealing with injuries. They're dealing with one of the guys they counted on to be one of the offensive leaders in Lucas Reichel being completely invisible. They're dealing with one of their young goalies they were hoping would be average being awful. So a lot of things have gone wrong. That's why they're back at the bottom of the league. The expectations were slightly better than last year. They were not playoffs by any means. So that's why it's like, okay, the Luke Richardson chatter is like...
No, they were going to land high lottery odds regardless.
Right. So, like, while we can all, Davidson could be disappointed that what he envisioned happening isn't happening because, again, of the injuries, of guys getting kicked off, of young players completely underperforming. He's probably looking at it going, well, hey, I might get the number one pick in back-to-back years, and that's, if you're going to go through a shit season, get rewarded for it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll have some quotes from Luke Richardson and a little bit more from Tyler Johnson that are pretty good. I'm seeing rolling here. So first, Mario's going to tell you about Midtown.
Yeah, the Midtown Athletic Club. They give a shit about your health, mentally and physically, and they have 4 locations in the Chicagoland area for you to do just that. They have locations in Palatine, Bannockburn, Willowbrook, and, of course, right here in the heart of the city, the Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel, located in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park. And they have a ton of different options for people looking to better their physical and mental health, for individuals, families with kids, people looking to make some lifestyle changes, holistic wellness, all of that good stuff. Midtown has options for you, and they have amenities out the wazoo. A super luxurious locker room setup with both wet and dry saunas, premium amenities like outdoor and indoor pools and hot tubs, fitness studios and theaters that are just top-notch quality that you're not going to find at any other gym. Yoga, spin classes, boxing, group exercise, CrossFit training, standard weights, all of that stuff. You're going to get that at Midtown at the highest quality that there is. And if you like tennis, you are going to love Midtown. They have the best tennis courts and programs in the sport. Indoor and outdoor courts are available. They got pickleball, paddleball, all of it professional quality. So head over to midtown.com/CHGO to find out more and to tour the Midtown Athletic Club nearest to you.
And you could bet the action on the ice with DraftKings Sportsbook. Looking here at the app right now for tomorrow's games, the Sharks have won 6 of their last 10. The Coyotes have lost 4 in a row. The Sharks.
But I thought they beat all the Stanley Cup champions.
They did, and then they lost everybody else.
Oh.
If they
used all their juice.
Yeah. The wheels have fallen off that wagon. You hate to see it.
That's tough.
The Sharks are +1.5 and +170 on the money line. So you could parlay those if you'd like, or just play one or the other. I like that. I like the Sharks to win the game outright. So how about the money line, Sharks and Coyotes tomorrow night? You could do that on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use the code CHGO. New customers can bet $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on hockey. That's code CHGO only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The crown is yours. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2023. All rights reserved. All right. Also, reminder, Tuesday, we are going to be out and about in town with our friends at Goose Island for a Hawks Avalanche watch party. That is at Broken Barrel Bar, 2548 North, Southport. It is a free event, but head over to allchgo.com, navigate to our events page, and RSVP so we know how many people are coming. Again, if it's a last-minute show up, you can certainly show up and join us, but it's going to be a good time. Event starts at 6:30, puck drops at 7:30. Hawks Avs Tuesday at 6:30 at the Broken Barrel Bar with our friends from Goose Island.
Maybe a Broken Barrel will start in goal on Tuesday.
That'd be good. I would like that.
Might have a higher save percentage.
It might.
Yeah. All right, a couple quotes here from practice, from postgame.
Yeah.
This from Ben Pope. Richardson says, quote, obviously our depth chart has been hit well, but we've been patching holes as we've been going on. But once we get to a certain point, we've got to be perfect, and we're certainly not perfect tonight. Mm-hmm. He also said Alex Vlasic was dealing with some soreness, and with the game well out of hand, they took him out as a precaution. Was hopeful Vlasic could play Sunday against Vancouver. Oh, my God. Luke Richardson didn't express much concern for Soderblom after another rough night. Said he's, quote, a confident kid who moves on quickly from bad nights.
Got a lot of practice.
And another Tyler Johnson quote from Mark Lazarus, quote, it's us coming to the game just ready to play, ready to go after them compared to just being scared to make mistakes. We were just tentative on everything, and credit to Seattle. They worked hard and they competed and they took it to us, and we just didn't respond.
Showing up to work ready to play a hockey game. Basic, simple, should be able to do every night. If you can't do that, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
How about if you once again choose to not show up, you are once again going to be embarrassed. Isn't that no motivation enough?
Yeah.
Don't these guys where's the pride?
I don't know.
Don't these guys feel like, I don't know. It's weird.
If I was on the team that was the get right game for everyone else in the league, I would get pissed off and I would try and do something about it.
I don't know.
Right?
It's very aggravating.
I know it might be easy to say, but if I was an NHL caliber hockey player, I think it'd be pretty fun to go and play hockey for a living, and I would like to play decent hockey. And showing up to the rink you would think would be fun. I don't know if you can't self-motivate, that's a problem. And we saw it we saw it last year. What changed in a lot of the players that were here last year to this year?
I think a lot of it has to do with, I think some of it is not necessarily they walk on the ice the first period going, I don't give a shit today. I just think it's some nights it's they give up that go, they fall behind and they well, it's over. It's a defeatist attitude.
Yeah, but they scored first in 6 straight games?
Tonight they fall down 2-0. They get that Taylor Raddysh goal, and you're like, some momentum. And then literally a minute later, bad luck, and it goes off of Jason Dickinson. Was it Dickinson's stick this time? And it's 3-1, and the game's over at that point. They folded in the tent. They're a fragile team. And Luke Richardson is exactly right. With the roster the way it is, they have to play perfect, but they can't play perfect. So it seems that as soon as one bad thing happens, another one happens after that quickly, and then it's just they're done. They're like when you drop an egg off a third story balcony. It's cracked in a million pieces, and it's done.
I think that you're on it probably more than simply them not caring. That is always the easiest thing to think. And look, I didn't see a lot of checks finished. I didn't see a lot of aggressive forechecking. But that's another chicken or egg thing. Because if your confidence is sapped and you feel like everything you do is going to be wrong and end up in the back of your net, you are tentative. And we talked about it with Kirby Doc when he was here, that a tentative hockey player is a bad hockey player, and you've got 23 of them right now.
I don't want to get caught deep checking because then it's going to be an odd man rush the other way, and it's going to be in the back of our net because our goalie can't make a save right now. And it just trickles down, and all of a sudden you got a roster of 18 guys that don't know what to do because nothing is working.
And that's another element of it too, is not only can we not make a mistake, even if we don't make a mistake, if they shoot, it's probably going in.
Yeah.
Because Soderblom can't stop anything right now. And I know Jackson Stauber is no great shakes in Rockford, but you might just have to it can't be worse. Can it be worse than what Soderblom's doing right now?
No.
I don't think so.
It can't be much worse. I know like
it's not going to be
Jackson
worse.
Stauber is not a savior by any means, but if he gives you a 900 save percentage, that's a major improvement. Windy City Hockey has a really good idea.
I'd like the Blackhawks to
trade and get Alex Stalock back because Alex Stalock's not even on the NHL roster right now.
Yeah,
I could have kept him.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
I'm done with that.
Trade him Arvid Soderblom for Alex Stalock. At least he'll be entertaining as all shit. That was part of the fun last year, and he was really good. But at least he
played well.
He kept you. He entertained you. He might have lost more than he won, but man, when he was out there, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'd be definitely calling up Anaheim saying, "Hey, he's not. You're not using him.
You're not using him at all.
We need him."
See, I mean,
For
me, I look at it as like you can't
trade you Derek King. There you go.
Sure, you can
that'll
trade,
fix everything.
Trade coaches.
You know what Derek King's not doing? He as the coach of the offense, he forgets to tell him to shoot it in the net.
Fireable offense.
That's it. That's what
fireable offense.
That's true.
It's all Derek King's fault.
Yeah.
I just the making mistakes thing, like being tentative and not wanting to make mistakes usually leads to mistakes. This team with their talent level, they're gonna make mistakes. Like that's just gonna happen. I'd rather them make mistakes at 100 miles an hour than be tentative, playing at half speed, just trying to be perfect and not make mistakes. And then, you're going to make mistakes anyways. Like making a mistake at 100% effort, trying to make something happen is better than making a mistake, trying to not have anything happen.
Yeah, agreed. Making mistakes, being aggressive is better than making mistakes, standing around waiting to make mistakes.
I'd rather a guy pinch and try and keep a offensive possession alive and have a 2-on-1 going the other direction. At least you're trying to keep the offensive possession alive. At least you're trying to like make a difference in the game. If this team's going to be bad, they're going to make mistakes. At least give the 100% effort making them.
Yeah,
that's
try
the lowest
fails,
bar that they can clear right now.
Yes, if you try something and it fails, or we tried an on-man rush or a stretch pass and it cost us, fine.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, we're seeing there's not a lot of consequences here. There's also like not really anyone to bench. There's no one left. So all these guys are going to play until they get
especially when
healthy.
everyone's hurt.
Yes, so make your mistakes trying.
And Alex Stalock is not even like the main starter with the San Diego Gulls. He's only played 6 games in the AHL this year.
It's not going to happen.
I
would like it to happen. But
they haven't been good.
Happen.
He's got a 3.78 GAA and a 893 save percentage. But hey, that's because he's playing in the AHL. He's depressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Those kids down there don't get all his jokes.
This will
He
fix
needs to get back. Could you imagine Nick Foligno and
too
Alex
out of touch.
Stalock in the same?
I'm sure the hunting and fishing in San Diego is not what it was in the Chicagoland area.
Probably not.
Yeah,
probably not. And for all the people saying bring up Drew Commesso, why your right mind would you say, hey, Drew Commesso, come make your NHL debut as we throw you in fire and pour gasoline on you?
Come get shelled with this horrible team that doesn't care about
You want to talk about destroying a young player's confidence? Put him behind this. No.
It's not NHL 24. There are impacts to calling a guy up too soon.
And you know what Drew Commesso did his last start? He gave up 7 goals to the San Diego Gulls.
Come on.
And he gave up 6 in his performance. He's hit a wall, not a wall, but he's struggled his last goal. No. Drew Commesso,
it's same thing for Doc.
Yeah.
Same thing for Allen and Del Mastro. Like they are not the first guys you call up to bring into this.
That's why you're calling
up
Philip Roos. And that's why if you need another forward, it's probably going to be Brent Thene. You call those guys up because you need your young guys to keep playing big minutes in Rockford.
Yeah.
In a more competitive environment.
Yes, it is better, more beneficial for Colton Dock to be the guy in Rockford right now as opposed to playing 3rd, 4th line minutes on a bad NHL team. It's just... No, you do not put...
I don't want those young guys in this locker room.
You put Drew Commesso... You give Drew Commesso a start... Maybe if he plays real well, maybe you call him up and you say, hey, you make your NHL debut like the last game of the regular season.
March or April.
And say, hey, you've earned this. Come up and get a road trip with the team and get your charter flights and your luxury hotel, and we'll let you start a game, then you can go back for the AHL playoffs.
The other thing too is if you do feel like you want to bring up Colton Dock or somebody like that at some point, you don't do it now when everything is on fire. And then because even if you don't say this to him, he's going to feel like, shit, I need to come here and fix this.
And Anders Bjork can't come up because he's on an AHL-only contract.
Yeah, it's not, guys.
Well, they could sign him.
They could, right. But, yes, they have to do that first.
I know we're all grasping at straws, and we're all looking for a way to fix it.
We've spent so much time talking about how this team cannot develop players. They ruined Boquist by rushing him up here. They ruined Doc. They ruined Jokiharju. They had no patience with these guys. Got to get them up here right away. Oh, they stink. Let's trade them. And now half you guys want to do the same thing with the prospects we have now.
Right.
No.
And none of which were high first-round picks like the other guys you mentioned.
Right. And this season is not about winning. This season is about developing. So please let them develop these kids, because in 2 to 3 years, we'll see the results. And we'll sit back and go, remember that really awful game in Seattle where we had to stay up to 1 a.m. talking about a 7-1 loss? Those were the good old days.
I hope I forget this game.
I'm going to forget this game by the time I even get home tonight. By the time I hit my driveway, this game's already out of my mind.
I do think there needs to be there's got to be some semblance of accountability, though. Like, if there are specific guys that Luke and his staff identify as a problem, there has to be a consequence. They can't just, for the rest of the guys on the team who do show up most nights and do play hard most nights, like your Mackenzie Whistles and your Nick Folinos and up and down, your Alex Vlasics and all these guys who do come to play most nights, you can't just let the guys that don't do that get away with it. There's got to be some sort of thing. And it's funny that the guy who actually seems like he's a victim of this is Boris Kachuk, who, when he was in the lineup, was actually a guy that did play hard and did good things and forechecked and did all the things the right and simple way. He's the one sent to Rockford so Joey Anderson can say, woo, I understand it. Great, he earned it. But, the message has to be sent to the guys who are consistently not showing up. And we know who they are. One wears number 27. And instead, he was promoted to the top line at the end of this game. Trying to get something going, I get it. But there's got to be accountability here. Yeah. Maybe it's another scratch. Maybe it's send Reichel down. And it's not just Reichel. I don't want to put on just Reichel, but it can't just be well, we're not trying to win anyway, so let's just keep doing this. Because that's when you lose the veterans. And that's when you lose the guys who are well, what's the point? If this guy's going to coast his ass through 82 games, why should I try? Why should I be out here busting my ass, working as hard as I can for a meaningless season, for all intents and purposes, right? Why should I go, play bruised and injured and hurt all year long because I'm trying hard when this guy's on and we all get the same exact treatment, the same exact consequence? Yeah. That would piss me off.
I agree. But, I don't know what those consequences are. Either you send Reichel to Rockford for a week and bring Boris Kachuk back up. Sure. I mean, you could do that. I don't know if it solves anything, but
I agree that they can't just coast and have not have anything come of it. But it's really hard to look at the team and be like that any of these guys would worry about their spots or their time being taken away because they don't have the depth of the organization.
There's no one coming
to worry about that, Yeah. Like if you're saying we're gonna scratch Taylor Raddysh, or just as an example, I know he scored tonight, but
4-star,
and we're gonna bring up David Gust. I'm sure that doesn't shake Raddysh's boots at all. That David Gust is coming up because he knows he's not going to take my spot long term.
Yeah, the one possible spot taker in Rockford was Anderson.
Yeah, and he's taken a spot.
And he's done it.
And
besides the young guys. But again, as we said, those aren't the first guys that should be coming up.
No, next year could be different when you have your Docs and your Rolstons that are competing for spots, and maybe you have a Frank Nazar here and more of these guys, maybe a Landon Slagert is another guy that when you have more guys that are long-term guys that are going to come here and stay here, there may be some more pressure.
Yeah, when there's competition for jobs from legitimate guys on the up and coming pace, then I think you would have a spot where you got people worried about looking over your shoulder, making sure that you're taking care of your shit, so the next guy behind you doesn't take your spot.
You want to put a spark in this locker room. You want to put a spark in this fan base. It's very easy.
Yes, it is.
You sign one Philip Kessel tomorrow morning.
Hey, if you need a team to give a shit, you signed Phil Kessel.
That is his reputation more than anyone.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Effort guy.
It's
tries hard, loves the game.
Hey, that's a spark, man. That's a three-time Stanley Cup winner.
Yep.
Kiss the rings.
Walking into your just as many Stanley Cups as Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves, my friend.
Do I smell silver and hot dogs? It's Phil Kessel.
It's Phil Kessel.
Oh my God. We got some super chats to get to. We're going to do that right before we take another break. $10 from Edward. Thank you very much. He says, is it biased confirmation that for me, Bedard is the only one who seems to give a shit? He's among them. That's for sure. I don't think he's the only one.
He's one of the few I'm like not worried.
Right.
Yeah, and the good news is like the majority of the guys that I'm not worried about are the young guys that we need. I don't worry about Vlasic's effort. I don't worry about Kevin Korchinski not giving a shit. I don't worry about Phil Kurashev not giving a shit, or Isaac Phillips. Like those are the guys. As long as those are the guys outside of Lucas Reichel, then I can live with what's happening.
And for the most part,
Bedard has that internal motivation, I think.
Oh, he's in hell right now. He hates losing.
Oh, yeah.
He's in hell.
Yep.
And he's going to do as much as he can to reverse things here.
Alton V says, just got back from the game. What an embarrassment this team is. This team is way worse than last year. No heart at all. And we have another $5 from Mike, who says, at this point, with injuries, young guys are being called up and forced into situations early, like Crevier. Need to add some veterans for their sake. And there's a couple of people saying that. But
it's also not exactly the easiest thing to do in the world. Like, you just can't call up a team and go, hey, give me some veterans.
Right.
It's not NHL 24. You just can't make any trade you want. But Phil Kessel is right there. He's begging, please sign me.
Yes.
I want to play hockey. He's going to cost you nothing. Maybe he could play defense. Less skating for him.
What?
Oh, God.
Maybe he could play goalie.
Think so. Maybe.
He fills the net.
That's true.
That's a pun.
Yeah, there's just not a...
He's right there.
There's nothing that's going to fix it this year.
No.
And I'm on board. Fine.
But Phil Kessel will make me feel better.
Yeah, it's fun. Bring him in.
Can't wear 81 or 18, so he has to pick a new number.
Honestly, that's someone who's motivated to get back into the NHL.
And
like,
hey,
you give him that opportunity.
Let him
and
go out there and score 10 goals, and then trade him to a playoff team for whatever.
Something.
A shoe.
Well, if he did come back, that would be a hot ticket. That's for sure.
It would be. Yeah.
And Windy City Hockey mentions Ethan Bear is available.
Ethan Bear is available to competitive teams.
Yeah. And from what Elliot Friedman reported earlier this week, it sounds like the Washington Capitals are going to be his landing spot because they want to give him an extension.
Oh, cool.
So that might be the might thing. But yeah, Phil Kessel. And when Phil Kessel does sign tomorrow, and if you want to be at his Blackhawks debut, whatever day that is,
I hope it's a home game.
It's going to be a hot ticket.
Sunday.
I don't know if he can jump in the lineup right away, but...
You don't think he could jump in this lineup right away?
Sure, he could.
Can't turn your back on Reese Johnson.
He doesn't have to go through Canadian customs and immigration to get here.
No, he's an American. He's an American boy.
Through and through.
When you look at him, you say, that guy is from Wisconsin.
That is definitely a Wisconsinite.
That is a Midwestern boy right there. So whenever Phil Kessel is going to make his home debut, you want to be in the United Center for that, and that is when you download and use the Game Time app. You shouldn't have to worry when buying your tickets for your next big event, Phil Kessel's debut. Game Time, I'm just going to keep saying it till it happens. Yes. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events. With killer last-minute deal, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. You can pick any seat that's available, and it's going to show you a picture. So you're going to be like, ooh, do I get to see Phil Kessel's glorious backside for 2 periods from this seat?
Oh.
Or do I have to go to the other side of the arena for this view? Like, am I going to see Phil Kessel's
You
first
got to
goal as a
know.
Blackhawk?
They should have a Kessel cam on Game Time.
They should. Where's my best view of Phil Kessel at the United Center? You get to your last-minute ticket deals, flash deals, zone deals. Easy to find, and you can buy a ticket for any kind of it, not just the Blackhawks. You know, some of you may not want to go to a Blackhawks game right now, and I can't say I blame you. You'd rather go see a nice show at the theater. I hear there's some nice plays in town. Go get you some of that culture. You can do that too. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. $20 off of Phil Kessel's Blackhawks debut. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right, and it's getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it.
Yep, sure is. The electric grid is ever evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Oh, whether you have I'm just thinking about my whole fleet of delivery vans. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should business owners do, Mario?
Business owners should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait.
It's electric.
Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
I actually said it as ComEd.com/clean. Yeah, go there. See how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come. Lots of commas in that last sentence.
It is commatastic.
Yeah, it's a ComEd.
I'm going to invent a new... we had our little swear jar for he who shall not be named. The new feature is
jar is
trade for Kent Johnson.
Because it's so easy.
Why is a team trading Kent Johnson?
He had 2 goals tonight, including the overtime
Knock it
winner.
off.
If Kent Johnson was going to be traded, he'd have been traded.
Yeah, Kent Johnson's back in the NHL. Like, he's not going anywhere.
He had 2 goals tonight.
Yeah, no.
It's enough.
Yeah,
it's Jesus.
It was a fun pipe dream we had.
When it was
ago.
like, why are they sending Kent Johnson down?
No, they're
That
obviously not
made
trading
sense,
him.
but not now.
At least not now. Maybe when the
Sign Josh
maybe
Bailey.
when the new
Yeah, we
he's
coulda had
out there.
Josh-
He's
coulda had
available.
Josh Bailey, yeah.
You're already paying him.
He's
Just
already a
bring him back.
Blackhawks legend.
Yeah, just bring him back. Yes, one more shift for Josh Bailey for the rest of the season.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
young
Kent
man.
Johnson's not getting traded. Maybe in the offseason when the new GM takes over. And
Zach
wants to,
Zach Parise's out there.
I'd take Zach Parise
You want
right
41-year-old Zach or how old is he?
don't know.
39, 40?
But
He's old.
You know what the Hawks
You
need
know what?
is
He's a top line
more-
player on this team.
is more small one-dimensional forwards. That's one thing the Hawks are missing.
Who's that? Josh Bailey?
No,
Zach
Zach
Parise.
Parise.
Oh, yeah. He's
Yes.
not small.
39, by the way.
39.
old.
That's he's younger
What's
than
his
me.
height and weight, Steven? You got it pulled up there. He's not small.
He's slow as fuck though.
I mean, he's old. He's
So
got a
is
lot
Phil
of
Kessel. I
lot
don't
of
care.
mileage
Phil
on those
Kessel's
legs.
fun.
Yeah, but Phil Kessel's
He's 5'11",
5'11".
195.
That's
not small.
it's not big.
5'11", 195.
I bet you he's
That's
not-
almost 6 foot 200 pounds.
bet
If you
he's
if you
not-
round
I
up.
bet you he's no longer.
Yeah, it's like just like
195.
Nikita Zaitsev is 6'2".
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's a good idea. The Blues fans all of a sudden
Yeah.
hate Jordan Kyrou. Yeah.
Is he
Trade for
is
him.
he a Pud Black? I mean, aside from being
Jordan
a Blue?
Kyrou?
No.
No. Why?
Yeah, he saw I saw a tab and
here's
and
what
a couple
happened.
People said
he got
was
at,
at-
he
yeah.
apparently he was not a fan of Craig Berube.
what?
Shocking.
His massive brew base.
And he said that he was asked today because this was their first game.
I know
since the
this,
fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
All he said was he's not my coach anymore. No comment. He's not my coach anymore. And then Blues fans booed him every time he touched the puck tonight.
Yeah.
But was he Pudwackian before this?
I don't think so.
They just don't like him because they love their meatheads down in St. Louis. I get it. He's the coach that won you your only Stanley Cup because the Boston Bruins are scumbags and choked away that final. F them to eternity. But he's like Craig Berube is the embodiment of the St. Louis Blues organization and their fan base. So how dare you? And another issue that this has, Kyrou sucks this year. He's not producing, but that's a talented kid. And if the Blues want to say, well, you're a distraction, we want to trade you. Hello.
Yeah, come on over.
We will take you.
Sure.
Can we offer you Ryan Donato, Jared Tenorti, and who else
would be
a
a good Blue on this team?
Jared Tenorti would be an amazing Blue.
Yeah.
Reese Johnson's got St. Louis Blue written all over him.
Sure. I can see that.
Who else?
Anybody else?
I'm sure the Blues are just dying for those guys.
Hey. Hey, listen, if we could just call up the Blue Jackets and say, give us Kent Johnson, we can get
I
Jordan
forgot.
Kyrou,
Yeah,
right.
That's
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And trade Seth Jones for Matthew Tkachuk. All right, let's go to Connor's Corner. We've already done too much show.
Finally, something happy sounding.
Well, not for long.
Oh, man, stats aren't good.
Connor Bedard, 20-31. In this one, he was a -1, 3 shots on goal. He won 3 and lost 5.
Connor needs to
Face-offs
clean
for
up his room.
38%. Let's leave Connor's Corner immediately.
Yeah, I don't think he deserved those Dino Nuggets
Yeah,
tonight.
those things got to be getting moldy.
Not a great
They've been
game
out
for
there
him,
for a
but
while.
he certainly wasn't the problem in this one.
Wasn't the problem, but didn't do much to help either.
No.
Yeah, he tried.
No.
He
All right,
tried a no-look backhand pass across
he's
the
gotta
ice through
stop-
4
He's
players.
got to stop falling in
tried
love with
that.
That's
Hey,
not
he's
gonna
trying
work
things
every time.
aggressively.
Yeah, hey, fuck it. All right?
Why not?
YOLO, as the kids say.
All right. Do we have a winner on which was the most disappointing loss?
Who's our 4th star
No,
for the
we
losses?
don't. We have a tie.
Come on.
tie?
They
have a
all
tie.
equally sucks.
I'm gonna go vote.
Tonight versus the Kraken and versus the Coyotes are both tied at 41%.
Recency bias.
I'm just gonna vote right now and break the tie. I'm gonna vote for the Coyotes game.
Coyotes game
I'm gonna
was
vote for the
worse
Kraken
because
game.
they had a much better
you
roster
go.
at that point.
Coyotes. That was the worst game.
Wait.
You had a decent NHL-ish roster then.
And weren't you coming off a win? Didn't you beat somebody the day before?
I believe so.
Oh, no. Or was that the Avalanche game?
I don't know.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
They'll run together.
Why can't I
They're
vote?
all bad.
I want to vote.
It's all right. I broke the tie.
I tied it again.
Damn it! Come on.
Rooting for chaos.
You suck.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You
Where's
moved
the,
to
where's the
Boston for
poll? Where's the poll?
Is the ad playing? Yeah, wait for the ad to be done.
No, that's gone.
that. All right.
Oh, this is the pregame show. Never mind.
I'll post that by mistake.
too
again
late.
tomorrow.
All right. What else do we got to do?
Well, before we go-
we're not doing 4-star.
No, we're good. I just got to remind everybody how to get amazing bacon. And there's no better way to wash down a horrible Blackhawks loss than with pounds and pounds of delicious craft bacon. And Charlie the Bacon Guy is our guy to get it to you. Go to charliethebaconguy.com and check out all the great offerings he has there. He's based in Woodridge and makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 30 different flavors. They're all natural, no preservatives, none of that crap in there. Nothing he can't pronounce is in his bacon. It's vacuum sealed. It freezes great. It lasts in the package up to 45 days in the fridge and 6 months in the freezer. The bacon jam lasts about 60 days in the fridge and 6 months in the freezer. Here are some of the current flavors: maple pepper, Nashville hot, French toast, buffalo, ranch, jalapeno garlic, jardiniere, malort.
Interesting.
Malort, by the way, canceled. Stealing recipes from Nice Lounge.
I saw that.
Bacon jam flavors: original, bourbon, spicy, peach. That goes perfect on anything: scrambled eggs, toast, crackers, burgers, grilled cheese, cinnamon rolls, or eat it with a spoon like a real man. Be a man. Eat it with a spoon.
Just stuff your face right in the bowl of bacon jam.
There you go. You can stick. You
Eat it
can
like
pick it
Randy
right
from A
up
Christmas Story.
from Charlie. You can meet him. He can deliver it. He'll meet you halfway or ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. And starting now until, well, that's today. So if you get your order in by the end of today, December 15th, so you have 11 hours and 21 minutes to do it, you can save 10% on your order at charliethebaconguy.com
23 and a half
with
hours.
the code CHGO10. Get your orders in and use that code to save. Again, charliethebaconguy.com. Check it out, and you can see his bacon archive on there. And if something that he made before looks good, order enough, and he'll make it for you. So get in touch.
You should buy so much. And Mario's wearing the helmet because he won Who's Your Hawk.
Yeah,
'cause-
congratulations.
yeah.
No one
Also,
cares.
Rick89 in the chat says he put in his order with Charlie the Bacon
Way to
Guy
go,
today.
Rick.
Way to go, Rick.
All right. Nicely
Nice
done,
job, buddy.
Rick.
Congrats to you.
Everybody
The other
should put in
88
order.
Ricks buy bacon too. Better.
Everybody should be buying bacon from Charlie. You should buy so much bacon that you need to get a new vehicle to fill it with.
Yeah.
Like specifically, get a Jeep Grand Cherokee's worth of bacon.
That's a lot.
Because I know where you can get a deal on a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
What the people know.
It's our partner, Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in
was gonna
Fox
guess
Lake.
Ray, yeah.
And they're making room on their lot for the new 2024 vehicles that are incoming. And you know what that means? You'll be able to shop incredible savings on every new vehicle in stock during their limited time wrap up the year sales event.
Wrap it
Gotta
up.
wrap it up. For a limited time, get up to 15% off new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokees with dealer discount. You can even double bag it at Ray's.
Oh my God.
Chrysler, Dodge,
Nah.
Jeep, and Ram. You'll
There's no
always
point in
be able
doing
to
that.
shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect thanks to the Ray Price Promise. Don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. But that's not all. Just for listening, you can get a free, absolutely free, whereas and you pay no money, oil change just by mentioning CHGO at the service center or mention us when you book online at raycdjr/service. Hurry in. You must book before December 31st.
Get your oil checked.
So, if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them on Route 12 today in Fox Lake. For more information, check out raycdjr.com. Serving the community since 1963, and it feels like we've been on the air since 1963.
It really does. And guess what? We're going to be back in a few hours.
Hey.
We are on tomorrow at 1:30. Here's the deal.
We're on today at 1:30.
Thank you. It is a
PM.
mailbag show.
13 hours from now.
We are doing a mail and in bag show tomorrow. So get your questions in. You can shoot us an email, Blackhawks at allchgo.com. We're going to shoot a tweet out there that you can respond to.
Or if you're diehard, head to the Discord.
Yeah,
Throw
Discord.
it in there.
Exactly. Or just tweet at us. Make sure you tag us, and we'll find it, and we'll put your questions up tomorrow.
Steve from Cicero will email.
That's
us.
right. Steve from Cicero will
I have
be
a
there.
feeling
I'm sure
Steve
it's
might have like 4 or 5 questions.
been a while since Steve's been there. So
he
we'll
still alive?
Hopefully.
We need to
I
check
hope
on our
so.
guy.
He
Want
doesn't
some
want to be
creative
anymore, but he
questions
is.
too.
Yeah, throw some Christmas questions. Let's have
Let's
some fun.
have some fun.
If we don't
The
like
less
the
we
questions
talk-
we
yeah,
get,
right.
we're
just gonna
going
make
into
them up.
Christmas movie
The
draft.
less we talk about the Blackhawks tomorrow, the better.
Yeah, let's have some fun with it. So get your questions in. But a reminder, tomorrow, special time of 1:30. We're an hour early tomorrow, so don't miss that. Make sure you join us for our mailbag show, and we'll have some fun and frivolity. We've been mad and crabby and pissed off enough. We promise you a fun show tomorrow. So make sure you join us at 1:30. And we want to remind you that we're powered by ComEd. It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles. Learn more at comed.com/clean. Thanks to Steven for running the show and staying up with us. Thanks to everybody who was with us in the chat today. We are right there at 100 likes.
Come on,
so on
let's
your
get to
way out,
100.
get us over the hump, please. Get to that 100 like mark for us. We
Shake
appreciate
everyone's
that.
hand for 100 likes.
There you go. And we'll talk to you tomorrow, 1:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.